So the other day, I made a big decision about my podcast. Historically, my podcast called Building Your Brand has gone out weekly. Not always, it started off in seasons, but for the last kind of 2 years, I think, I've done weekly episodes very, very consistently. Like I can't even remember the last time that I missed an episode. Now, recently over the summer, I did a series of solo episodes instead. So for 3 months, weekly, a solo episode went out, and I really enjoyed doing those. And I also got into the flow with recording and editing them, and actually sort of like got quite a good process going so that it didn't take me too long to do them. Now I'm coming to the end of this series of solo episodes, and I was thinking, oh, I've really enjoyed it. Maybe I should start alternating interview episodes and solo episodes each week. But I've actually decided to do something even bolder. And for the first time ever, I am going to start releasing 2 episodes a week of my podcast. So if you haven't checked it out before, it's called Building Your Brand, and it's all about helping small business owners with their branding and marketing. So whether that is me sharing like my personal experience, growing my personal brand, or whether I'm interviewing, like a guest about LinkedIn or copywriting or visual branding, that is the overall goal, to help that group of people. So I've decided to do these 2 episodes a week. I'm going to commit to doing it until the end of 2025. So that's like 3 months, and I'm going to see how I get on. I think I will be able to do it. Now, the only reason that I think I will be able to do it is, as I mentioned before, I've come up with an editing process that is working pretty well for me. Now, I should say all of my interview episodes, I outsource the editing of those to my amazing podcast editor, Lucy Lucraft. And typically she edits all of my episodes, but I decided over the summer I would edit them myself, and I wanted to edit them so that there would be video of them as well, and that would go up onto YouTube, onto this channel, in fact. So I'm going to just carry on with the process I've been doing over the summer. And as I said, the reason that I feel like I can do that is because I have honed that process. Now, I've been editing in Premiere Pro, and what I do is I edit the video and the podcast. I put in the intro music and the outro music. I then export just the audio, which goes into Libsyn, which is where I host my podcast. And then I output the video, and then that gets uploaded to YouTube. So I'm only having to edit once, but then I have those 2 different outputs. So I thought I would show you some tricks in Premiere Pro that are making that editing process loads easier for me and are saving me loads of time. So I've got 2 episodes that I've recorded. It's the last of my sort of summer series, and also the first one of what is going to be my ongoing solo episodes. So let's hop into Premiere Pro, and I will show you some of the tricks that are saving me loads of time and helping me batch create episodes. Okay, so here I am in Premiere Pro, and I've got my video clip here. I've got the audio, which I record separately on my computer, and then I've got my intro music and my outro music. So I'm just going to start off by dragging my video clip to the timeline, and then I'm going to drag in my audio as well. You'll see here there's a pause, so I recorded both episodes in sort of one go, so they'll get split up in a second. But the first thing that I need to do is sync the audio with the video clip. So I'm just going to select them both, and I'm going to go to clip, synchronize. So this is just going to make sure that those audios are perfectly synchronized. I'm then going to mute this one. And what I've been doing is leaving a bit of video at the beginning so that I can put like the title over the top of it. Next up, I am going to just add some volume here because it's sometimes a bit quiet. So I find that 20 works about right. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to transcribe these episodes. Now, before I do anything with my transcript, I am just going to quickly divide the episode up here, just so that I can keep it separate. The reason that I do them both on the same timeline is it's just like the speed of batch creating. So I've got the music here, I can put it at the beginning of them both, I can sort of get everything consistent. So it just makes my life easier. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of the pauses. So I'm going to click on this funnel and choose pauses. one thing that you might want to do is change the settings. So if we click on transcript view, here you can adjust like the minimum pause setting length, for example. So it might be that you only want to get rid of like longer pauses, but I've got it set to pretty low. I click save. And then I click delete and delete all, and you'll see there's 462 pauses. So I'm going to delete all of those, and it's just done it automatically for me, which is amazing. So I usually keep a bit at the beginning for me to put the title over, and this is where I want my intro music. So I'm just going to drag that down. I'm just going to zoom right in so that I can get the music where I want it. So I like it to just overlap a little bit with where I start talking. I'm just going to splice here, get rid of this because I don't need it. And then I'm just going to zoom out, get all of this episode right up to the beginning. And then I'm going to add my outro music. So let me just pop that in here. Again, I like it to just overlap slightly. But I'm going to drag this out because I want some video at the end as well. What I'm going to do though is I'm actually going to cut here and just unlink this. So if you want to unlink your audio from your video, I just click Control and click, and then click unlink, and then I can just delete that one there. And when I post this video to YouTube, this is where I'm going to put like, you know, those end cards that show the other videos. So that's just how I've set that up. So you'll see here, I've basically edited the episode. I'm going to do the same again with this one. This is why I like having them both on the same timeline, because now I can just like really easily grab the music again, and I can just do the same process. If I zoom right in, it's going to make my life easier. So I've just got some, you know, me faffing around there again, ready for the music. So you'll see here, it'll play. Now, I tell you what I will do is I'll probably move this over a little bit because it covered over the audio of me speaking a little bit more. And if you ever need to just like drag the clip, I can just drag it out again like that, which I really like. So now it'll go like this. Okay, so let me just add on the outro music again. This is just showing you how quickly this gets put together. So we'll just go to the end, zoom in, get that nicely just overlapping that tiny end bit. Okay, so everything's basically edited, but now I do need to go through and listen and just make sure there's not any bits where I've like repeated myself or something doesn't make sense, or maybe there's some bits that I want to cut out. So what I tend to do is I get to my talking bit and I click play, but I like to listen to it on double speed, and then I edit it over here in the text. So if you ever need to just like delete anything, you can just highlight it. You'll see it shows the highlighted section here, and then I just click delete, and then that clip, let me just show you, will just disappear and everything will nudge down. It's super easy. I love the text-based editing. So I'm just going to undo that because actually I want that to stay. But what I do is I click play and I listen to it on double speed. And to do that, I just click the shortcut, which is just clicking L on my keyboard. So that just makes life a lot easier and a lot quicker. So once I'm happy with the podcast edits, I tend to add like some text on the top. So I do that by just clicking text box and putting in what the episode is. So this first one is a Q&A episode. So let's just say we're going to put in Q&A. I go to window, properties, and I just change it to my brand font, which is Tommy. I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow, and then I'm just going to increase the size. I want it to be bigger. I can make it even bigger again. So I'm just going to put that over here, close that, and then I'll just make sure that like that drags across to the whole of that beginning section. Okay, so I'm happy with how that is looking. Now, the thing with having both of these episodes on a timeline, and sometimes I do 3 or 4, is obviously if I export now, it's going to export the whole thing. So all I need to do is go to the beginning of this episode and I click on the shortcut I on on my keyboard. Then I'm going to go to the end of the episode. Let me zoom right in so I can get it really nice and neat. And I click O. So that's for in and out. And you can drag it here if it's not quite right. So we've got the whole thing selected. Let's just go into the beginning and check that it's gone right from the beginning. Yep, looks great. So now all I need to do is go to File, Export, or you can always click Export up here. I'm going to export my media, and then I'm just going to make sure here that instead of entire source in out is selected. And then when I click export, it's only gonna export that section, and I can change the title here to the like Q&A for that podcast episode. And then once I've exported that one and I'm ready to export the next one, I'll just go back in. I'll just drag the playhead to the beginning of the next episode, which is here. I'll click I again. I'll go to the end of that episode and click O and zoom in. I just need to adjust that one so it's right on the end there. In fact, I'm gonna put it to here because I don't want that little clip at the end. And then I just export again, and I make sure that in out is selected, and I just click export, and I'll name that one whatever that other, it was all about trolling, so I'll name that my trolling episode. Hopefully these little tips of deleting the pauses with one clip, doing multiple edits on a timeline, and listening on double speed will have been really helpful and will maybe speed up your video editing as well. So I really hope you found this more tutorial style video helpful. If there's anything else you want me to cover around branding, how I create content, how I edit videos, anything like that, then please let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for ideas of helpful videos that I can make to support you in your process of building your brands and building brands that you really love and feel good for you.